Hi, my name is Jessie and this is my van. It's a 2018 Ram ProMaster 3500 and it's a 159 extended wheelbase. And I live in here with my dog Sammy. A little bit of background, I went to University of San Diego. And I traveled a lot in college, studied abroad. Once I graduated from USD, started working full-time as an electrical engineer for a defense contractor. After a couple years, COVID happened, and like a lot of people, it was hard to be stuck in one place for, a period of time. So about 6 months into COVID, I decided to take my car and start traveling across the US. I have a Cooktop tent, and so I took that, packed up and went. And then after a month, came back. And I decided that I didn't want to stop traveling. I had seen a lot of the world, but hadn't seen a lot of the US, and kind of started seeing all the van life stuff popping up on my Instagram and YouTube. And living out of a car while you're working remotely full-time is really difficult. So I thought the van would be kind of a way that I could bring my home with me. And that's why I decided to do it. This is Sammy. I wanted her to be able to kind of sit here with the door open and not, run out and chase squirrels. So I installed a dog gate for her, and then also installed some fixed containers for the bowls, because at first they would just be kind of on the floor and I'd have to pick them up when I'm driving, or you'd kick the water over. So it's nice to have a place to keep them and they don't move when I'm driving, and she has her little area. So at the front of the van I have a controller for my Simply Safe. I decided to get one because I had heard that vans were kind of becoming a target at hiking trails, because people know that we have all of our belongings in them. You need to leave your inverter on because it plugs into a wall outlet. When I go to leave, I try to turn all my inverter, everything off, just to kind of conserve power. So I don't really end up using it as much as I'd like to. And if you also don't have any cell signal, it's not going to alert you if someone does break in. So what I ended up doing is installing a safe in the bench in my van so that I can lock my computers and stuff up. That has a really loud alarm on it. That's a lot louder than the Simply Safe. So with that, I don't really feel like I need that as much. So kind of going back, I'm not sure if I would purchase that again. So starting at the sliding door, I have the kitchen area. I wanted to make sure to have a big enough sink that I could easily wash dishes and it wouldn't be a hassle. I also got one with a soap dispenser that I could build into the countertop, and also a freshwater spigot that I could also build in. I think anything that you can actually put onto the van makes it a lot easier so you don't have things rolling around. For this, I have a 3-gallon reverse osmosis water filter, so there's a tank underneath here, and it's fed from my 30-gallon water tank into the, that filtration system in here. I have hot and cold water coming out of the sink, so I have a 5-gallon hot water heater in the back that feeds both the sink, the indoor shower, and the outdoor shower. Moving on, I have a 2-burner induction cooktop. I went with an induction cooktop because I didn't want to mess with trying to install propane and possibly doing it wrong, and also just having kind of another, source of gas or power. I liked this one because both burners are equal size, so I am able to use both burners at the same time, although really I just cook with one big pan. I also have, kitchen storage up top, and then of course having my espresso maker on the road with me was a priority. So it takes up a good bit of space, but I use it every day, so definitely worth it. Down below I have my pantry. So this pulls out and I have all my spices and stuff on this side, and then I have 6 of these really large containers for dry goods on the other side. What I did is I ordered, these are 2 separate pull-out pantries that you can buy for, regular cabinet doors off of Amazon, and then I bolted them together and, added the door so it would be one. I actually had it as 2 separate pull-outs at one time, but it was a lot easier to kind of line things up as one big one. It is really heavy though, so I had to put 2 latches on either side, and so these you just have to turn and then they come out, and then when you push them back in, it locks. I also have additional storage here and here, which also have latches on them. Here I have my massive fridge. It's an Isotherm Cruise 200. So it was the largest 12-volt fridge that I could find that would be below counter height. It has a large fridge section that obviously is the depth of this countertop, and then it also has an entire freezer section, which is important because I need to take ice cream with me on the road. I can probably go about a month between the fridge, freezer, and all the dry goods that I can carry. That being because I can, you know, have a lot of frozen fruits and vegetables and meat stored in the freezer. So when everything in here is done, you know, I still have a lot of space here of frozen food. So in the back, I have my bed. It's a queen-sized mattress, although I had to cut off a couple inches at the foot in order to fit, because I only have 6 feet from side to side. I put windows on either side here though, so I have kind of pop-outs that are about 3 inches. So if you're a little taller than 6 feet, you can kind of spread into those. I also have a space for my dog down below, which was also a necessity to kind of give her her own bed and space that she can go so she's not kind of laying on the floor and in the way. I went with a fixed bed just because I didn't want to have to like change things out all the time, you know, going from bed mode to work mode. I wanted to have like a real kind of solid mattress and nice sheets and everything. I also kind of trade between, you know, working at my front space, you know, using this as a stand-up desk, and also I like to sometimes sit and work in bed, so I wanted to make sure that I could sit up in this comfortably. Also underneath, I left my garage space like flow completely through. I really like to ski and snowboard in the winter, so if I had, you know, long skis, like big gear like that, I wanted to be able to kind of fill my trunk with that and have that extra space to come out here if needed. I also have surfboards, so sometimes when I leave those in the van, you know, they extend all the way out here, so it's nice to have the full length of the van for gear when I need it. Here I have the shower, so I have the Nautilus self-cleaning door, so it's pretty thin here and really easy to install in any doorway. You see them in a lot of vans, which is why I went with it. Inside of the shower, again, I have a hot water heater so I can take hot showers in here. Place for soap and everything, because again, anytime you have something mounted, it doesn't have to be stored somewhere. That's really great. I also have a toilet box in the shower, so I decided to go with the urine diverting toilet. I wanted to be able to get up and pee in the middle of the night, but I didn't want to have to deal with like compost toilets and things like that, so I thought this was the best option for me. I really like having an indoor shower. Like I said, I really like to, you know, be in the van in the winter, so that kind of takes out showering outside. It's also nice if you happen to be somewhere, like if you have to stay at a campground or, you know, something like that. It's nice to kind of have the option after a sweaty day out to take a nice shower and have that space. So I definitely use it a lot, and I'm really happy that I put it in. In the shower and also on the backsplash for the kitchen, I decided to go with real tile. I wanted a 3500 so that I could do that, just because I really feel like it gave it kind of a home feel. And that's really what I wanted out of the van. Like I wanted a space that I really enjoyed being in. And the tile has held up really great. Like I haven't had any issues with it, been on really bumpy roads, and it's withstood everything. So I'm happy that I did it. Back at the front of the van, I have a bench seating area. I have some storage within this bench. Like I said, I have a safe in there, and it's also where I put my Webasto gas heater. I also have a mount for a Lagoon table mount, so I can put a table here if I want to sit here and work. I have it taken out because it's nice to have a little extra space and I can stand up and work and do other things, but I put it in here if maybe I have a second person that also needs a workspace. On the floor, I also have the warm floor, heated flooring. So in the winter, it's really nice to be able to kind of heat that up because the metal of the van gets really, really cold. So it's nice for your feet and also for the dog, so that she can kind of sleep on the floor and be comfortable. So in the back of the van, I have plenty of gear storage. And then I also have my outdoor shower and inlet for my water tank on this side. So I have a 30-gallon water tank that kind of goes up into where the wheel well is, and that's on this side. My water heater, and then under that bench I have all of my electrical stuff. For my electrical setup, I have 3 of the Game Changer 270 amp hour batteries, so that's about 810 amp hours. I have a 3000 watt Victron inverter, and then I have 400 watts of solar on the top. 400 watts isn't that big for the amount of batteries that I have. That's why I have the 100 amp alternator charger. So when I'm driving, I'm charging. On the back, I have a Thule 2 bike rack. I tried having one in the hitch, and it really does not work with ProMasters because they are pretty low to the ground and you have to have a drop down or you can't open the doors, which is a really big pain. On the top of the van, I have an aluminous roof rack, so it's easy to mount your solar onto, and I also have a ladder to get up here. I have my Weeboost mounted on the roof, some treads in case you get stuck, because you will, and then I also got some crossbars here. I have a 3-person rooftop tent, so I'd like to put that on top of the van and then just kind of have some extra sleeping in case anyone wants to come visit me. Thank you guys for following along with my van tour. If you want to follow me, my Instagram is @JessieAlina. Hope to see you out on the road.
I hope you enjoyed that video. If you hadn't noticed, we do sell an ebook for how to convert a van. It has over 190 pages of detailed instructions and diagrams, also 25 video tutorials which are specifically for the ebook buyer. Creating a van for many people is obviously a really intimidating project, but I really believe, and I've seen it time and time and time again, that with the right information, anyone can turn out with a pretty decent van conversion. So check the link in the description, subscribe to the channel if you are not already, and drop us a comment if you like this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.